What's up, crypto junkies? It's Jay, and welcome to this video. We got the big bright lights that makes me want to shrink and put on sunglasses, but you know what? I'm gonna go with it because the new studio is almost done, and so the last couple days here I don't really care. But I wanted to shoot this video and talk about positions and position sizing. Okay, now right now we're in the midst of this huge sell-off, this huge dump, bear market, whatever you want to call it, on BTC. And we're seeing a huge run up on Bitcoin Cash. There's a little war going on right now and playing out in front of us, which is creating what? Naturally, a lot of fear. So I'm going to show you how you could simply use a fib retracement to find key support zones and territories that would be your buy-in windows on positions in Bitcoin right now. Because everyone's looking over here, it's time to look back over here. When they zig, we zag, right? That's just a smart trader. So you'll start to see that there will be some big allocations and big volumes start to kick in here on the order books for Bitcoin over the next little bit of time. Whether that's the next couple hours, the next couple days, we'll see. So right now, we've got a lot of selling going on still, right? Because we have fear, we have FOMO, fear of missing out. So everybody's dumping and selling on the low in Bitcoin, which is retarded, and they're buying on the high on Bitcoin Cash right now. That is just showing you the absolute high level that we have in crypto of inexperienced traders. 90% of traders will always buy on the highs and sell on the lows. Smart traders buy on the lows, sell, and take out profit on the highs. It's just what you do, okay? So I'm going to show you, let me delete all these lines. I'm going to show you how to do this, but before that, we need to just talk about one thing because we're going to start from scratch on this. Okay, so position is my position in this market. That's a position in this pair, BTC to US dollar, okay? Position sizing is what is my position scope, okay? And you could I guess reverse these if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter how you define them as long as you decide how much you want to go in at and what is one position for you. So the easiest way to do this with something like Bitcoin is a position size being 0.001, which is like $7, right? That's a small amount of money, but when we're looking at entering into this market and we're looking at consistently running what's called a no-lose strategy, we're going to be in this market for a little while. We're going to be in it for a couple weeks, a couple months maybe. So we need to determine what our overall position size is going to be and then what each position is. 0.001, easiest way to do it. What that will allow us to do is that as the market keeps going down, we can buy down the market. And as the market goes up, we can take allocation and we can take profits. Now, the whole reason why you would do this, why you would buy down positions into a down market, is so that you're lowering your profitability line. The threshold in which you need to hit to make money is becoming lower every time I buy in. 8 positions, 16, 32, 64, 132. And I'm doubling up all the way down. What that means is that, let's say it comes all the way down to 4,000, my profitability line is much, much lower. It's somewhere, who knows, in maybe 43 to 4,500 range at that point, depending on how many positions you had bought up. Versus your typical trader, they will come in and they will buy everything at, let's say, 4,000. If they come in, well, 4,000 is down here. If they come in at 4,000, that means has to go above 4,000 for them to make any profit. So if it were to bear up, then, and of course they're the type of person who probably doesn't have the nerves for that, they would sell and take a loss, which we just do not do, okay? In the crypto junkie community, we do not take losses, okay? And when we take losses, we go and make bigger wins to catch up for those losses because at the end of the day, we're going to win, all right? That's the strategy. We're going to win. All right, so position sizing, buying down the market. We talked about all that. Yeah, so in this market right now, with where we're at, here's our 7,000 mark. Your first entry based off of the last fib retracement that I did would have been at about 63, I think. That was the first one. And now we just passed another one, which was at about 61. That would have been another allocation, okay? And then The next zone is somewhere in the low 5,000. So if it were to touch down there, we're buying up more of the market. But let me do this fib retracement, okay? And I brought this up in part 2 of the 10-part trading series, but we're going to do it again. So there's 2 things I'm going to show you. Let's do the fib retracement. Bottom of the bottom, all the way up to the tippy top of the top. So what that shows us is a retracement of what could happen. All the way down to, okay, so our 0 point is up here. We could have done the exact opposite so that up here is 100%. Let's just do that for better talking. So we retrace from the tippy top all the way down to the bottom. There we go. Okay, so there's our 0. And now we're looking at the upside of what 1% looks like on the way back up. No, actually, no. I was right the first time because we were in a bear market. So we go from here at the bottom to the top. Okay. So where could we fall? Well, these are outlining our main support lines. So now let's grab one of these. Nope. We need this guy. So we've got one right about in here. We've got one right about in here. Why does it do that? Am I the only one that does that for? It just automatically kicks back to the top one? I don't know. We got another one there and another one there. Okay, there's our 1%. So there's our 100%, excuse me, 100%. There's our 100% retracement of this motion right here. If we were to do that, the exact opposite, where would we come down to? Right here. So if we were to 100% retrace this bull and a bear, this is what we would come down to, 28.94, okay? So now all these red lines are my entry points, okay? And we had another one right in here, just so you're aware. So, okay, so it was 67 would have been your entry. That's the first entry that you could have came in on. Most people will wait until about the 50% line for entry, but I would jump in on this line here. Why didn't I retrace that one? Okay, because I got confused. The red dotted line is where we're at right now in the market, 60.90 currently. Okay, so we are coming up on the entry point that if I were scheduling out and allocating to Bitcoin, I would be doing. And where is this? It's about 59.54, okay? That's your first buy order. And that could be 1 position, that could be 4 positions, whatever you want to come in at. But just understand that if this thing goes all the way down to 100% retracement and you're in to 2,800, make sure you got enough money to buy all these allocations, because it's like, okay, we come in at one here, then 4, then 8, then 16, then 32, then 64, then 132. And so the next, if we kept going down, let's say it blows past here, because Jay, it might not stop here. You're right. Here's our 0 line, okay? And in between here, we could go back in time and look at all of our historic data for all of our support lines back in here. You could do that, but we're just sticking to the fib retracement at this point, okay? So that's our 0 line. That's the absolute bottom we could hit is 0, right? Yeah, in between now and then, we could hit on these core fib retracement lines, support lines, and those are our entry points to buy up positions, okay? And now if we bought this market all the way down to 100% retracement, then our profitability is, I think, going to be somewhere around, where is this line? 3,000, so maybe somewhere around 3,500, 3,600. My math is really bad. You might want to double check that. But because we bought down so many positions, our profitability line would be that much lower. Comparing that to the guy who, once again, comes in at 4,000 or 6,000, all of his positions, he just dumps 20 grand in at that point. He's living on a sheet of nails, by the way. He's pins and needles all day, every day, as this thing just tanks and tanks and tanks and tanks and tanks, right? You could also allocate this way for longer term positions, like really long term, because if this thing does have 100% retracement and we get the gift, the Christmas gift of this thing going all the way back down to 2,900, then you would buy in for long term positions at that point too. Who knows how many Bitcoin you would actually want to buy at that point. But to get in at 2,900, like, that is a gift. Forget about the fear and the FUD going on right now. That is an early Christmas gift for all of us. Now let's look at another little channel. This is another way to trace trends. Where's my line tool? Have I ever used this trend angle? I never used this one. Okay, so we need at least 3 touch points for it to be an official trend, which it's somewhere right in here because I'm pretty zoomed out. But this was our original trend line because we can have, what color should I make that? Let's make it pink. We can have trend lines. We don't have just support and resistance lines going horizontal, right? We can also have them going this way. And the way we would do that is another fib retracement. It would be, I think it's the pitch fan, which I'm not that experienced with. Or maybe it's the fib speed resistance fan. One of those. I saw somebody do a retracement on that earlier on Twitter, and it looked really good. So yeah, basically outlined the same thing, is that we're going to have a touch point here at like 5,000, and if it blows through this support, which we had a nice little crossing, where was it? We had a nice little crossing somewhere in here. Maybe I did a different retracement earlier. Whoops. Get rid of that. Put me back on the cursor. But yeah, there was a little cross section here to where we blew through that resistance point where it was multiple. It was this angle coming in, this angle formation coming in, and then your typical horizontal support line there as well. But we've blown through that. So the next place we could bounce and look for is around this 59, right? Because we're at 61 right now. And there's a lot of support in 59 through 61, okay? If you remember back, there's a lot of support through that right in this zone here. If we blow through that, then what we would be looking at next is this 52 to 54. Because this isn't an exact line that it would bounce on. It will test this support line as it does all the other lines that it's tested on, right? All these other previous supports, if you look, the wicks actually tested that, and then it might test it in one candle, multiple candles, and then it tips and tanks and goes through that and breaks through that support. And now it's it'll be a resistance on the way back up. But yeah, we'll drop in this next zone, which is here, which is 52 to 5,400. And the retracement that I saw this morning on Twitter was 5,000. So we're all right in that same zone. If it breaks through here, then the next one is somewhere in the low 5,000s. And that's not an accurate science by any means. It's just we're all predicting at this point. So also, too, you can look at more of the kind of angle motion and the wave retracement, which is more technical analysis. But we might do a little quick run up and then dip down here to the 5,000 to 5,400, and then most people think that will then bounce back and be the bull run up to 10,000. I do personally feel as well that this next correction that we have, wherever this ends up after that we're just going to take off with Bitcoin and never turn back. And proof of that would be the size of the attack that's going on right now with this whole Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash that we're seeing unfold right in front of us. They're both different utilities with different purposes. Bitcoin, I think there will always be a need for it. And even if it turned into this like kind of weird collector's item, because there are so few of them, and once it's all mined, it's all mined. But I will say that no matter what is happening with Bitcoin, with Bitcoin Cash and its utility, there will always be a place for Bitcoin because it was the very first coin. It will not just go away, and that's my opinion anyways, is that there will always be usage for it, and it'll always have a place in the crypto community. But yeah, so I just wanted to give this quick little breakdown of this and what you can kind of expect. Our RSI, what is our RSI looking at? Let me get that out of the way. What are we at, 46? So we're not quite oversold on this. We need to get down into 30 to be oversold, which if you look back here, we touched down into oversold territory. When was this? Back in September. Yeah, and that's when we had the big run up. So we could get down as low as what this bottomed out at, which was 29. If we were to come all the way down to 29, we would be in this 5,000 zone, definitely. But could be even lower. It just depends on the sell-off that we see here. But I will tell you what, if you want to allocate in, then that's how you would do it. That's how you would buy on the buy the way down on the market. You would be putting in your buy orders through here. And as it dips lower and lower, we'll start to see more of that. Because right now, this is just FOMO. This is just fear of missing out. But we're starting to see some bigger orders come through. What is that? Trade alert. Oh, quantity. There we go. So quantity, look at that. We start to see some bigger orders coming through. Yeah, interesting. You can keep an eye on the order books, and the order books will tell you quite a bit too. We're going to be shooting a video on this. I'm going to be teaming up with one of the community members to shoot a training video on this very, very soon because I don't know a lot about how you watch volumes in order books. That's newer to me, so I'm going to go ahead and research it, and then him and I are going to jump on a stream together and just jam on it for all of you guys to benefit. So that's it for this video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're thinking, but you should probably do that. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos, and be on the lookout for more trading hitting your inbox soon. See ya.